Hello, everybody, and welcome to Last Week from the Table. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. This is Last Week from the Table for Tuesday, May 19th, 2020, where we go a little bit in depth and recap the sessions from the actual play games that I run on my Twitch channel. So let's go ahead and get on with the show. All right, on Thursday night, we are promise wrapping up the Dragon of Icespire Peak game. This coming or last Thursday, we had session 19, and the party had discovered where the dragon's lair was, and they had gotten that information at the end of session 18. And so I really kind of gave them a sandbox of what they wanted to do. And as it turns out, what they wanted to do is they wanted to go sell off some of the loot that they had acquired through their earlier adventures and stock up on some potions, uh, improve their armor a little bit. There's not really a whole lot of magic stuff that they can get, but they've acquired a few magical items along the way. And then spend an hour of the session time really kind of in character debating the best strategy. Now that they know where the dragon is, they know the type of ruins the dragon has claimed for its lair. What do they think the best way of assaulting it is? So they took that time during the session to do that. And then, of course, the bard, being the bard, and kind of knowing what makes the town master tick, he went to the town master and sort of gave him an opportunity to, rally the spirits of the town around. Okay, now these heroes are going off, and uh, he made a really, really good check on his persuasion. So I had kind of been toying with the idea of whether I thought there was any holes in the party in terms of magic items that they needed. And so I handed out a couple of additional magic items to the group. Nothing game breaking, nothing, overpowered for their level, because they're all level 6 now. I think one was an uncommon item, and one was a rare item. But it gave them the opportunity to go through all that. So all of this saying that it took until the very end of the session for them to actually reach the Icespire keep and to get up there and find out that yes, the dragon is there, and then surprise, surprise, oh, the dragon isn't alone there. There's not another dragon, but there are some humanoids who are apparently in league with or um, lackeys or toadies of the dragon, and they're not quite sure what that's all about yet. But they got there, and as they started sneaking around in the keep, they ran into these defenders who immediately let up a battle cry, and oh yes, that immediately alerted the dragon, and we ended the session just before we could roll initiative. So next session will be session 20, and we will be fighting the dragon and the dragon's allies, followers, cultists, dare I say, uh, in the next session. So that will be what happens this coming Thursday. So it'll be a good session if you guys want to watch a nice fight where the way I've balanced it, it should be a real tough fight for the characters, but it's on paper it's one that should be winnable. And those guys are pretty tactical and work well together, but uh, instead of fighting the dragon itself, now they're fighting other humanoids in very close quarters, and those other humanoids have a dragon on their side. So that could change up the dynamics a little bit of how everybody is expecting the fight to go. So come by at 8 p.m. on Thursday night over to twitch.tv/Gallibond and check out this fight, and it should be fun. And following this, we will have, and I'll use this session time, the same session time, and go ahead and stream the sessions just for the sake of interest of anybody that wants to drop by and watch what we're doing. We finish up this, we will be making characters, and we will be introducing those characters, and the party will be starting on a new long-term campaign. So you can get in on the ground floor of watching that in the next few weeks at the 8 o'clock time slot on Thursday nights. All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears over to Sunday. On Sundays at 2:30 p.m., we play the Walker of Waterdeep campaign, and this is my campaign where I am realizing a long-term dream of crossing the streams between the lore of D&D and the lore of Magic the Gathering. And as we are doing that, the party is finding very interesting types of monsters and very interesting storylines that are pulled right out. Well, not all of them are pulled right out of the fiction that's been written for Magic the Gathering, but I've been reading the fiction for each of these planes, and that has sparked some ideas of things that are going on that might involve the party. So they're in Innistrad right now, and they were in the middle of a fight when we started the session this time with a demon and several of the demon's followers. Now, this is one of the name. Now, they were not fighting one of the named demons, but this demon is part of the cult of one of the big named demons in the Innistrad lore, and the cultists. I put their motivation as wanting to be on the side of the only immortal powers left in Innistrad, because since it's been shown that not only could Avacyn be detained, she could also ultimately be, as far as everybody knows, destroyed. Then that means that the angels aren't necessarily an immortal power that can help the people. The vampires, we certainly know, are chemically created and immortal, but they can be killed. And then obviously the werewolves are not immortal, and the humans are not immortal. And then there's all the necromancers and other things bumping around that raise the dead. Don't let them stay dead. So the people who are seduced by the cult of these demons, they just want to be on the side of something that really is more or less eternal. Because in the lore of Innistrad, you can destroy a demon's physical form, but in a few days it's just going to come back again. And it's, you can't ever really kill it. So I've played around with that idea a little bit and said, okay, that would be a reason that some of these people would fall under the sway of the cult. But of course, having cults like that run around makes life miserable for all of the regular folk of Innistrad. Kessig So they finished out their fight, touch and go. Lots of nasty spells that the cultists and the demon threw at them. Lots of tough abilities that they had to survive. But ultimately, the party did manage to, hack and slash their way out of a couple of very tight spots there, with people going very, very low in hit points at a number of times during the session. And I think, at least in that fight, 2 people actually went to 0 and fell unconscious and had to be revived by other party members before the fight ended. But this is when they finished with that, they went back up to the town and they found some additional information. And the party, being super softies and not being 100% really careful about how, when, and where they discussed with each other what they were doing, they wound up, at least as far as the townsfolk are concerned, giving their promise that they were going to help set things right in Innistrad before they move on. Now, of course, the party is under pressure to get a main quest done within a time limit. Um, it's not like in the next 10 days, but there's a clock ticking. And so there's things that they need to do and places they need to go and specific tasks they need to complete. But now they've been, you know, basically appealed to by this downtrodden mass of pathetic humanity in Innistrad who desperately needs some glimmer of hope before they all just simply uh, go crazy with the sheer uh, the sheer insanity of the world that they live in. And um, so that was a thing that I kind of been wondering, okay, do I want to introduce stuff like that this quickly, or do I want to wait a while? And I thought, no, this is a good place to do it because there's a lot you can do with Innistrad. So I wrote in this side quest, uh, knowing full well that the characters may decide just to walk right past it and not even look at it. But it seems like now that it's been presented to them, it seems like they're at least going to investigate it. So that's fun. I feel like the work that I've put in on that is not going to go to waste. Uh, but we'll just have to see how all that turns out. So you can tune in Sundays, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, on my Twitch channel, Twitch TV/Gallibond, and watch that show. So that is going to do it for last week at the table. I have been DM Gallibond, and once again, I'll just close as I always do by saying that whenever you have your games, try to make sure that they are memorable so that you can have tales you can share from your table as well. Good night, everybody.